Trumponomics, there is still some concern that the market levels that we're seeing in the US, these record highs, are simply too high and they could come down quickly. There's also concerns about what will happen if Trump antagonizes China further and about the diplomatic fallout of some of his very unusual tweeting. Well, that address set to get underway any moment now. We'll take you live as soon as we can. But let's look at what happened ahead of Trump's address on the markets. And of course, President Barack Obama gave his farewell speech to America in Chicago yesterday. He outlined gains, suggesting now that he's handing over a very strong U.S. economy.
Yes, our progress has been uneven. The work of democracy has always been hard. It's always been contentious. Sometimes it's been bloody. But the long sweep of America has been defined by forward motion, a constant widening of our founding creed to embrace all, and not just some. If I had told you 8 years ago that America would reverse a Great Recession, reboot our auto industry, and unleash the longest stretch of job creation in our history, if I had told you that we would open up a new chapter with the Cuban people, shut down Iran's nuclear weapons program without firing a shot, take out the mastermind of 9/11, if I had told you that we would win marriage equality and secure the right to health insurance for another 20 million of our fellow citizens, if I had told you all that, you might have said our sights were set a little too high.
So the outgoing President of America, Barack Obama, is saying that he's handing over an economy in really great shape, talking about unprecedented jobs growth there. Well, earlier I asked market analyst Makwe Masilela to assess the health of the U.S. economy before Donald Trump takes over.
It has improved, given that the first term he took over economy which was not doing well at all. But second term we've seen some improvements. Bear in mind that since 2009, the U.S. economy has been growing on average of 2%, and so far we've seen a bit of job creation. Hence, we've seen the U.S. Federal Reserve being confident to start increasing interest rates. So he's right; there is some improvement.
So, if assuming Donald Trump continued in the same vein, the U.S. economy would keep on improving and that would have benefits for the world. What do you think he is going to say? There's also that added extra spurt if he invests in infrastructure, if he cuts taxes. Is it all good news?
It's all good news. Hence, the markets have been going up because we're optimistic. Number one, for him to cut down corporate taxes, that's good for companies. They'll have extra cash to be able to reinvest on other things. For him to be able to make sure that the jobs are not lost in the U.S., that's positive. People will have jobs. And as you know, for the economy to grow, you need people to work so that they can spend money in the economy. That will also talk to the job creation as well. For them to start talking about deregulation, some of the sectors, that's very critical. And we know that, especially when it comes to small businesses, which we all call that these are the guys who are really creating the real jobs. That's very good as well going forward. And in a way, the guy will be stimulating the economy. That will be inflationary in its nature. The U.S. Federal Reserve, they have to start increasing interest rates. The U.S. dollar will strengthen. Then the likes of the rand will continue to weaken.
So it's rand negative, but we will benefit from a better global economy. Is it positive or negative for South Africa?
It is very positive, because now if the U.S. economy, as the number one economy, start growing, then there's demand for goods and services out there. We've just seen the markets were just happy from the number coming from China, which is the second biggest economy. So the minute we see an improvement from those kind of economies, that bodes well for emerging markets going forward.
Well, he's not on the podium yet, but all the cameras are set up. The world is waiting